Alright, time for a new review. Got myself a drink here that my wife made. Not sure what it is, I think it's eggnog. At least I hope it is. Let's take a swig of that. Alright, let's see here, what do we got? Ah yes, Sting. The hell's in my drink? Hey guys, Metal Driver here, back with another AEW review. Today I'll be looking at the Unmatched Series 2, part of the Luminaries collection, Sting. On the side you see an image of the Stinger, then on the back you see another image, his signature, the date and event in which this image was taken, and the rest of the figures that are in this wave. Alright, so that was the box, and as I mentioned, this is part of the Luminaries collection, as you can see at the bottom of the packaging. But that's enough of the box. Without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up and take a closer look at the icon, Sting. Alright, and here is out of the packaging. But before we take a look at this figure, let's look at the accessories that he comes with. He comes with a pair of fisted gloved hands. He also comes with his iconic black baseball bat. Top of the bat is smooth, while the bottom part with the handle has the detail. So I like this. So comparing that with the Mattel baseball bat that we have gotten with all the other Stings, they're actually pretty different in design. This one had a wooded look, so I'm assuming they just used one of their older bats and just painted it black. I'm sure that was a cost-saving measure. I like how this one looks. It looks more in line with the bats that Sting uses, because they were pretty smooth. They were usually metal bats, or at least gimmicked metal bats. So I like how this looks. Plus, this feels a lot sturdier. It doesn't really bend or warp. Whereas the Mattel bat, this one warped very easily. I would often have to heat these up and strain them out myself. They were very flimsy, so I liked the new bat. I think Jazzwares did a good job on this. Then the other accessory that he comes with is his entrance trench coat, and this is very well detailed. I like how this looks. You have this nice scorpion on the back, which is painted in red. Some gold lining around the collar here, and over here by the sleeves. And you can see some more of the details right there. So that looks really good. A lot of creases. Gives it that leather look. And then look at the front, all these buttons here painted in gold, which looks really nice. I like this part, very well detailed. The collar looks really good. So this looks nice. It looks great as a display piece, although that's pretty much what it's going to be used for, because there's not a whole lot of give in the articulation. So you won't be able to pose them with this, but if you do have the defining moment Sting, you could use that trench coat that came with that figure and put it on here, and I'll show off how that looks later. And then doing a quick side-by-side comparison with the Elite Sting. This is the Hall of Fame Sting, which was based on his WrestleMania appearance. So it is an older Sting. So this is the red jacket. So looks okay for what it is. I do prefer this jacket. A lot more detail on this one. And this is removable, so we'll go ahead and take this off. And just as a quick note, you are going to want to take off the hands in order to get the jacket off, otherwise that'll be very difficult to slide that off the sleeves. Or I should say slide the sleeves off the arms. Then taking a look at the head sculpt, and I must say I think Jazzwares did an amazing job on the sculpt work. I think this perfectly captures modern day Sting. It looks really fantastic, especially at different angles, different sides. Now it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can see the sculpted wrinkles on the face. I don't think the camera is catching that. There is a lot of light on the white face paint, which, speaking of which, it is painted very well. The lips look great, the eyes look great. The black line on the white looks really good. Honestly, the only imperfection here is just a little bit of missing white paint at the top. The hair is sculpted really well. I like the way this looks. It's got this light brown, because unfortunately Sting is older, so he doesn't have the dark hair. I like how it's combed this way, just like how he combs it, slicked back. So I love this head sculpt. So again, Jazzwares did a great job on this. Then comparing that with the Mattel version, which mine has a little bit of extra paint on the head sculpt, so I should probably fix that. But bad paint aside, you can tell the difference between the Mattel and the Jazzwares version. The Jazzwares looks way better. I'm glad I have the Mattel version. I really like this Sting, but man, this is so much better than the previous Sting figure that we got. It is such an upgrade compared to that, and you also notice that the Mattel version is shorter, so I don't know how accurate that is to the other figures in the Jazzwares line, but here's another side, and then it does look like there's a chip on mine right here. I just noticed that on the side, so that kind of sucks. And then looking at the rest of the figure, he is wearing a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, so this is not the Sting with the short sleeves, but that's okay. I think this looks pretty good. The design on the shirt looks really nice. Zoom in a little bit on that. So there you got the AEW logo at the top, which is painted pretty well. Looks pretty good on the line work. Zoom out a little bit. Here you've got the Sting logo, baseball bats, an image of his face, all painted very well. There is some intentional spots of missing white paint. That is just the design of the shirt. I think this looks really good. It says the icon down here. Really good paintwork on that. I love how this shirt turned out. Here's a look at the sleeves. Looks really nice, sculpted really well. So it's not just a smooth arm, you can see the wrinkles on the shirt. Same thing with the front here and on the back. Actually, that's actually pretty smooth, so not a whole lot of wrinkles there. Never mind, just a little bit right there. And then taking a look at the sides, you've got the scorpions on the legs here, so they are cut off right here at the hip. It's because he's wearing a shirt over the top. It would be nice that if we eventually get a full singlet version of Sting with the scorpions on the side, perhaps maybe a Legends version from the 90s. The design on the pants looks really good, so it's got those sculpted in pads that Sting wears, so comparing that with the Mattel version again, so you can see the difference there in the sculpt work even with the scorpions. So the Jazzwares one looks like it has a longer scorpion tail. Does seem to be a little bit of missing paint right there. Then looking at the other side, same scorpion leg, paint looks better on that. Then looking further down, you see his boots with the scorpions on the side painted in silver. Again, comparing that with the Mattel version. Looks like the same scorpion design, although the Mattel one has a smaller one. That one's white instead of silver. Although it does have belt buckles painted. On the Mattel version, I do like that. The new one does not have that, but it's still a good looking boot. Logo does look better in my opinion. And look at the other side. Same scorpion painted well. So paint looks really good on the figure. Head sculpt looks really great. Then going over the articulation, the head is on a ball joint and a hinge, so he does look that high up. He looks really far down, so great range of motion. Can turn side to side and tilt a little bit. Not a whole lot. Shoulder goes that high up. It can rotate all the way around. There is a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, excellent range of motion there. Swivel and hinge at the wrist. Ball joint at the upper diaphragm. He crunches slightly forward, goes slightly back, can turn side to side, and pivot slightly. He has a waist swivel, so no ball joint at the waist like most of the AEW figures, so his crunch forward and back is limited due to that different style of articulation. Ball joint at the hips, which allow the legs to go pretty far out, not too bad. They go that high up, so slightly limited there. There's a thigh cut, double jointed knees, so great range of motion. A cut at the top of the boot. Hinge at the ankle, goes that high up, that far down. And he has some pretty good ankle pivot. Alright, and here we have the new Unmatched Sting, next to the Hall of Fame Elite Sting and the Defining Moments Sting with their trench coats on. Then here they are with their coats off. Here he is next to a basic Sting with the Scorpion logo on the front of the singlet, which I always hated that we never got an elite version of that figure, so Jazzwares, give us an unrivaled or unmatched version of this figure. That would be nice. Here he is next to my quote-unquote custom version, which is a Hall of Fame Elite figure with the basic head. So that's another figure I would love to see from Jazzwares with that singlet with the scorpions on the side, so that would also be nice. Here he is next to Wolfpack Sting, and it does seem like the Jazzwares version is taller than the Mattel ones. Here he is next to Unrivaled Series 3 Darby Allin, and the height difference with the two figures is perfect. Here he is next to the Unmatched Darby Allin. And then finally here's the AEW Sting with the Mattel Defining Moments trench coat. I think that looks pretty decent. This way you can actually pose the figure wearing a trench coat, so that would be good for toy photography or for posing on a shelf. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the new Unmatched Series 2, Sting? I absolutely love this figure. I think it's fantastic. Jazzwares did a great job with the head sculpt. Honestly, this is really the best Sting head sculpt I've ever had with any of the Sting figures, or at least the recent ones since Mattel started making Sting. The jacket looks great. I think overall the figure was just pretty much well executed. Definitely a highlight from this wave. I think whether or not you're a Sting fan, you should definitely pick this up. This is one of those figures that you really need in your collection, especially if you are collecting the AEW figures. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. Plus, he looks perfect standing next to his son Darby Allin right here. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe. If you want a chance to get a shout out in the next video, leave a comment down below. Just like Aslan Fulgore said in the last video, how did I miss this? I don't know, but I'm glad you did watch it. And on a side note, you can always hit the notification so that way you never miss a video. Follow me on social media and keep up to date with all my wrestling figure photography. And I'll see you next time.